One of the most important aspects of the supervised learning problem is the classification. In this, our aim is to find out the data labels for a given set of samples. In this video, let's break down the simple concepts of classification and learn why they are relevant to us in the day-to-day life. So assume that you are strolling in a garden with your son and suddenly a cat falls down from the tree. So out of curiosity, your son asks, "What is that?" So you take a look at the animal and then you recognize the animal that it is a cat. Even though you were able to instantly know that the animal was a cat, however, your brain processed millions of informations in a matter of seconds to allow you to learn that it was a cat. So similarly, the classification problem aims to categorize the given data into predefined labels or classes. Similar to how we use different features of certain animals to figure out what they are, the main aim of the classification problem is to use various features of the data, for example, the image of animals, to classify into different classes. To do so, the model must learn to recognize the important features from the data. For example, similar to how brain process that cats have smaller noses and pointy ears, and hence we were able to recognize that it was a cat. Similarly, brain can process instantly that dogs have floppy ears and bigger noses, etc. So we aim to make the machine learning models to recognize that patterns and then correctly classify different set of problems that we have. So one of the most classical and widely used methods of classification is the spam detection. So using the content written in a mail, we aim to classify whether they are spam or not, as we know that spam emails may contain malicious software and may hamper our digital well-being. So assume that you receive the following set of emails. Congratulations, you are a winner of a free prize. If you are free, let's meet for the coffee tomorrow. Claim limited offer. Buy one necklace and get two free. Click here to claim your free gift. Looking forward to a meeting. By a single look at these mails, if the mails contain a word free, or maybe if they contain the word claim, they might be a spam email. So if we create a rule-based spam detection algorithm that if the mail has the value free or the word claim, then we can classify it as a spam. So based on this rule, we can classify that the first, third and fourth emails were spam. However, if you look at the second sentence, which reads, if you are free, let's meet for coffee tomorrow. So this email also has the word free. So by the rule that we created, this email will also be classified as a spam. So this is one of the disadvantages of creating a rule-based algorithm to filter out spams. So in this case, if we have more number of samples or the emails, it would be easier for our algorithm to work and classify the emails as spam or not. So in this case, classification algorithms may come in handy. So classification task aims for the machine learning algorithms to learn from the data. So the methods are built in such a way that they scan through various samples of the data which have previously known labels assigned to them. So after scanning through the data, it should recognize different patterns and create a relationship between the features and the class labels. So for example, if I want to figure out whether the images are of a cat or a dog, the classification algorithms must go through different examples of images of dogs or cats, and then through these images they learn different features, whether the images of the dog have different patterns or the images of the cat have different features or something like that, so that they can classify them as either a dog or a cat. After creating those patterns, it must make a prediction and make the correct classification. And in doing so, they must avoid misclassification as much as possible. So these are the main aims for the machine learning algorithms. Now let us see what are the different categories of classification problems. So one is the binary classification. This is the case when there are only two possible labels. So for example, using the past history of patients, we want to deduce whether the new patient is diabetic or not. So in this case, our binary classification labels are either yes or no. The second type of classification problem is the multi-class. This is the case when there are more than two possible labels for a given feature. So for example, image classification. So using various images of certain animals, we want to predict which animal is in the picture. For example, the samples of images that we have may contain the images of cats, dogs, monkeys, or cows. And using those data samples, I want to figure out which animal is present in the picture. Another aspect of the classification problem is multi-label. In this case, one sample can belong to multiple categories. For example, using the summary of a book, we want to predict its genre. For example, it may be an action and comedy novel, or it could be an action and romance novel, or it could be a horror and thriller, etc. So these are the three types of classification problem which may arise while dealing with the real world data.